Uh, Off to a great start. Hello. How's it going? Anyone out there? Daz, hello. Just you and myself so far, but that's fine. I'm sure we'll get a lot done. Let's see. Oh, that button's grumpy. Harand, hello. I'm glad you're back. Unacceptable. You should time your meals. I stream at the same time every Wednesday and Sunday. How can you not? Also late. Are you? Since having kids, I eat incredibly early now, so I don't know if 8 is actually a reasonable time for adults to eat, or if I eat an unreasonably early time now. World, hello. Queco, hello. AC, resubbed for 10 months. He's still here, and I'm glad of it. Okay. Matthias, hello. Yes, but I also get siesta, which I'm a big fan of as well, so... Okay, physics doesn't work. There's a crash when the game exits, so it's like lots to deal with today. Lots to deal with. Wait a few minutes for people to roll in, and then I'll think really hard about our way forward. Oh, it's a debugging stream today. It's why does physics not? I'm kind of putting off the crash on exit. I would indeed blame Jolt. There's some drama going on outside. Hang on. I think a child just fell out of bed. I think it's okay. Julian, hello. No, I've never looked into JS obfuscation. I mean, I've looked at like minified JS, which I guess you could argue is a type of obfuscation, but never really going back the other way. MCC, it's every day is an auto day. Or how short is the child? I suspect she was prattling around. Right, okay, I'm gonna start. If I have to disappear, then I have to disappear. But I think it's okay. Okay, so let's make run and see where we're at. No, I suspect probably jumping on the bed and fell off. I'm not that cruel. This is a mess of my own doing. Right. Where'd that come from? That wasn't there. That wasn't there the last time we streamed. Okay. Okay, so there's UB somewhere. There is some UB somewhere. Let's abort. Oh, I guess we're gonna have to fix that first. Does it happen every time? It definitely didn't happen last stream. It's probably the fastest of game crashing, yes. Oh. What did we change? What did we change? And did I not run it after we made a change? I thought we just had everything running and I just committed it up. Well, I guess we're straight into the debugger. Straight to the debug hole. Let's see what's going on. Okay. Put a pin in the fact that physics aren't working. We can't actually load the game at the moment. Well, at least that's promising. Retry. Retry being not actually retry. Just ask the debugger to stop. Okay, let's... I know my big bold dome's in the way of the stat trace. I do apologise. I suppose I could move it back to the other side, but for now, update. It's on key press, so when it moves to the Lua level, so we're in the Lua routine. We've called level update. This is the stack trace. Can anyone see this, by the way? Because I have the font on this much smaller than I normally would for streaming, just so I can get more on the screen. But let me know if it's too small. So we've constructed. Okay, fine. It's probably more. It's not. We're not coding in here, so I can just verbalize what I'm seeing. So we've gone from main to game to the scheduler to resume to something in coroutine, stood coroutine handle to what's in create task after the level routine. The level routine does not get it. The level routine starts and immediately suspends itself until the game is running. So the game is now running. We've come out. It's called level update, and it's dereferencing optional. Matthias, we are trying to make a puzzle game at the moment. At the moment, it's not much because it crashes on start. But welcome, first time here. I'm glad you're here. Ask questions. We'll try and catch you up. Okay, so it's crashing in optional, which would imply the optional is not charged, for want of a better word. Engaged, not charged. Engaged. That's the word I'm looking for. It would imply the optional is not engaged. But like, oh, interesting. So we filter on things. Oh, so the entity is not itself an optional. Sorry, it's the static collider is optional. Okay, I'm just remembering how we did it now. So entities may or may not have a static collider, depending on whether they're static geometry or not. We have filtered out saying, hey, please return me everything. Oh, that's a... No, I've seen it. It is a bug. This should be... Bang, bang. So what I'm doing here is I'm kind of abusing the type system a little bit. Yes, you might be right. Anyway, has static oh no, wait a minute. No. Yes, sorry, I was thinking it return the optional. Yes, okay, fine. There we go. That's the problem. We want to say we were trying something else out and we didn't fully revert it. Yes, that is a good point. So this will work. So basically the problem is entities may have a static collider. It is optional whether they do or not. We can query if they have them. They will not have static collider if they are themselves not static geometry, i.e. an entity that moves around through its own free will or coerced. We were saying, hey, filter out everything. We should be saying, hey, filter out everything that has a static collider, and then we can dereference, as in access the static collider from the optional. I had inverted the check and not changed this. So I was basically saying, can you please give me everything that doesn't have a static collider? And then I was like, for that object, give me the static collider. This will work. But there's a trick to coercing an optional to a bool with auto return types, where you just put two exclamation marks before it, or you could just call has value. Dealer's choice. Dealer's choice. Okay, right. So now we're in the world. Here we are. It is chef's kiss. Some of my finest work. Now, our nice Azure debug lines represent a static mesh. I'm still not convinced we don't want to have a better proxy shape for it, but for now, let's just get it working. We are trapped in a green cage over motion, which is our, it's hard to see, but it's our capsule. And in theory, we should be logging whenever we clip into the world geometry like this. So now I'm stuck inside this wall. We should be logging load saying a collision has happened. Because that's what we're trying to get to. We're trying to we're writing a character controller. That is the end goal. We're trying to handle the collisions between us and the world. When we quit, we crash, but we don't worry about that. There's no logging in here. Yes, okay, let's go. So this is a problem because it's very hard to apply any additional logic to this if we cannot detect, quite hard to respond to collisions if we cannot first detect the collisions. So I'm trying to think. I had like a very concrete plan in my head at the end of last stream. I was like, we're going to do this, 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 and this. We could indeed construct the whole world out of barrels. Maybe that's a bonus level. But for now, I'm stuck with my terrible. It's not a terrible level. It's actually quite. It's the level geometry is itself quite nice. I've just not rendered it very well. So indeed, that's exactly what I'm saying. Coordinates of static geometry. Oh, see, yeah. So the static geometry is a bit strange because they're all at the origin 0, 0, 0, the classic origin, because the mesh data itself is in world space. So all those debug lines are drawn from the mesh world mesh data. I just kind of assumed Jolt would handle that with maybe a little bit of a scaling factor. I'm prepared to be wrong, as I am often. Where do we set? I think I might just need to see if I can. I think I just need to see if I can first collide myself with the barrels, right? Because those already have well behaving colliders on them. Okay, because they interact with each other. We've seen that this works. So I think if I just like bippity boppity move this up, and then as I'm looping through these, I should just be able to be like, so this is pairs of, actually maybe I'll just, that's what I was doing last time, wasn't it? That's the why. So why did that not work? If I do, here we go. If I do not, let's reintroduce the bug, and then do static entity bounding box. This is it, right? So now let's see. We want to see if we can intersect with the bounding boxes of the. So all the barrels are entities within the scene. They will definitely not have static colliders. We want to see if we can intersect with them. If we can, then we know the capsule is fine. If we can't, then the capsule is wrong. Did it work? Yeah, I can't. I'm gonna have to just re-convince myself. This is assuming there's not some weird joltism where you can't do like manual collision with static geometry or something like that. I assume the collider works. Okay, so if I walk into this barrel here, if I like immerse myself in the barrel, Nice. It's not. It's not logging. So why is that? Why is my capsule? Also, why have I? I think we got this printing out last time, right? But yeah, good point. Let's check that. I think we got that printing out last time. I mean, it's gonna have to be some sort of delivery service, isn't it? I am, I guess, an Ghidra guy from YouTube. I wouldn't say I was necessarily the proverbial Ghidra guy, but yeah, sure. That sounds like me. Okay. I'll immerse myself in the barrel again. Assuming I'm not somehow floating above it, but no, it's definitely clipping through, so that's fine. Mr. Bell, hello. Okay, so it's definitely finding something. Okay, this has been printed, so we are definitely getting an entity. Danny, thank you very much. Glad you enjoyed it. The live stream is a little bit more forward engineering than reverse engineering, but it's still quite low level. So hopefully, something else for you to enjoy. How does a capsule even know that it is a capsule? Is that a philosophical question, or are you asking about the mechanics of how we set it up? So the player. I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm super talented. I do all right. There's definitely a lot. There are a lot of people who are a lot better at all the things I do than me. I just talk about it more. Okay, so the player has a character controller. It is known. The character controller has within it, has passed into it. Sorry, we create from that a capsule shape, which is our own abstraction over the Jolt capsule. Okay, so let's kind of go through this. This just creates a capsule shape, and this is. Sorry, I rushed my dinner before this, so excuse me. This creates a half height of cylinder radius capsule shape. From the capsule shape, we smash it into the character virtual settings, which is the virtual character is like the base class for character controllers in Jolt, which we are extending. We create a rotated, translated shape settings. Create it, get it. And then from there we can get the shape here. Yeah, so the shapes have some basically super minor, like super lightweight RTTI. There's the shape type that it assigns it. Do I set that? I don't know how necessary it is, but yes, I tell it that I'm indeed a capsule. Has the info about it. So that's fine, because then that goes into physics. Nope, need the header because it's template, obviously. That comes from create shape, which will perfectly forward all the arguments to the individual constructor, gets back the pointer. This is all fine. And it draws it itself, right? Like, I'm not going mad, right? it can debug draw itself. So I mean, yeah, low poly will probably help you build your pipeline faster, right? I'm not an expert in graphics programming, but like as a general rule, I would say with computers, the less you're doing, the more efficient it is, or the less overhead there is, or the more capacity you have to do other things. But I believe the character controller itself is set up so it doesn't like fall over and stuff. It's set the origin. It's got an IQAT identity. Careful how I say that. So why is this? So let's go to our trans. So we have to have this slightly annoying abstraction called the transformed shape, which is a shape and a transform. The clue is in the name. And this basically allows us to pair a shape, which is a representation of a physics object, with a world space transformation, i.e., here's the type of shape, and here's where it exists in the world. And from here, we can intersect other shapes. And this works for box-box collision, right? I've used Pimple just to avoid polluting header files too much because it's kind of a library that then gets built into a game. Also, I kind of use this as a bit of a vehicle to showcase various aspects of C++. So sometimes it's like, oh, this could be a useful place to do it. Let's get on with it. But yeah, Jolt has a lot of headers, like a lot of headers. So I've tried to kind of hide those away as much as possible. Yes, effectively, yeah. The shape is just our shape object is just a abstraction over a Jolt physics, a Jolt collider shape, which just encapsulates some information about a mesh, basically. So we have cube. You can look at the shape types that we have, right? Box, cylinder, sphere, arbitrary mesh, and capsule. Box colliding with block. Box colliding with box works. We know this because we've had it wide in for ages. Okay, box colliding with anything else doesn't work. We've seen a bug. So is it a difference in coordinates from the shape and the transforms? Because the collision looks like it's colliding the shape with the transform, 52 and 53. Isn't that what we want, though? We want to take the shape, right, these two shapes, the native handles, and apply this transform to them. Sign of a good meal. Yeah, so I think I'm just trying to work out what the next question is. I guess the next question is, why does it work for boxes and nothing else? And should I be a box to start with to simplify it? Let's try that. So let's try making me a box shape, right? Yeah, so let's make ourselves an box. I guess I'm like like Standing radius is probably a good enough go. We'll see it. Well, hopefully we'll see it. Okay, let's try that. I might actually alter my make file. I'm just going to shift this over by like 100 pixels so we can see the because I can't move the window after it's created because it gets locked in place. I want to actually be able to see the logs below it. Obviously, normally I'd have more screen space, but because I'm streaming, I have to make do with the 25% of my screen. Oh, has it still got the login before where we're just logging we found entities? Yep. Oh no. Nope. Okay. Yep. Okay. I don't think that works, but also I wasn't really paying attention to see if we even had a box around us. I think I'm also gonna make it a little bit bigger as well. Oops, sorry. Just absolutely ruin my code. Let's do this height. Yeah, okay, let's make it, let's embiggen it a bit. I was just thinking, I wonder if it's something stupid like the capsule's not big enough, but I definitely saw it clip through the barrel. Also, it should, when I step into the middle of a pillar, it should work. Okay, so I think that's intersecting. I feel like that is firmly within the barrel, right? That is, we are in barrel land there. Is it? Is it the entities that are wrong? Like, these are all the entities, right? You set the position, and then I go through the entities in the various combinations of one that I want to compare. This has got a 1 scale factor, and this has a 10 scale factor. That is an difference. The pass key is like a more restrictive friend, so it allows me to control who can call that method without giving full access via friendship. Again, it's just an interesting C++ paradigm that I thought would be fun to talk about and implement. So is this something to do with the character controller? Because Byakua's not that, absolutely not that. Something says something on line 270. Which file? 270. Yes, that is fine. I still want to be looping through the non-static entities, which would be the barrels. So that is, I believe that's fine because I'm getting their bounding box. But good, do check. Do hold me accountable. Am I going to do a video reviewing the Asus firmware that calls sleep? I'm not really a firmware person as such, so I have no plans to. I have my to-do list for videos is insurmountably long. I have reached 1,400 followers on Twitch. Thank you very much. How exciting! That's true. Should we just check that the existing collision detection works? No, I've not read about it either, so I don't know about it. I think it crashes the game at the moment when we try and advance to the next level, because I don't think there's another level kind of primed behind it. Yeah, it crashes, but definitely just detected the intersection. Because it would have put post entity intersection there. Okay, interesting. If I get a chance, I'll try and find it and read it. What is different? Where are these shapes created? So this shape is pretty, this box is pretty big, right? 50, is that? Oh no, wait a minute, wrong entity. I think. My goodness, what a mess. There's a range up here somewhere I want. Shape. 232. So it's reasonably sensible coordinates. Brigure, hello. Okay. Next thing. Yeah, dealing physics again. I kind of put it down and now it's unhappy. Can we... Is this going to cause a miserable null pointer exception? What I'm trying to do is saying, what I'm trying to ascertain is the act of putting this into a character virtual settings changing the underlying object that I've constructed and passed to it? Line 83 overwrites the position. Surely not in here. Yes, that just gets the position from the Lua script. That's what the std get does. So I don't, again, that's just the position in space. I don't think that matters. We could print it out and check. But what I want to check is, what I want to rule out is the act of stuffing it into a character virtual controller, changing it, because this is just a pointer, right? This is just a pointer. It can do whatever it wants with it. So so down here, this is just a, I know what you're talking about. This is just a bit of a miserable fallback for the, basically every entity, regardless of whether it's static or not, has to at least have a bounding box, because that's what the frustum culling uses. So this is just saying, whatever this entity is, just give it like a massive box so it always gets rendered. We never use this. We use in collision detection, we use this if it is present. If this is not present, then we use this. And the case where this is not present, we have a much better calculator on these. It's a little bit annoying. Like it's probably not how I would. It's how it's organically arrived. It's probably not how I would do it from the start. So you can kind of, unless I'm massively wrong in my understanding of the code I've written, you can kind of ignore this 50 bit, which almost certainly means that's where the error is going to be. So anyway, what I'm trying to convince myself is that this hasn't changed it, but we get the position from the character controller. I wonder if I can just like it's super quick. Hack in something like that. Just so it's a separate object. And then when we debug draw, we do get the character shape. That's a little bit annoying. But when we do shape, we do call the shape we've saved. Oh, interesting. Should that be returning? Okay, I've got lots of questions, but I need to kind of empirically see how this works. I have a Dell 42 something or other inch, but I can't remember what the model name is. Do we pass the collider deposit into the transform shape or the static geo? I would have to check that. Okay. Okay, so it's not that. So that is not affecting it. What was your question? Do we pass the collider position into the transformed shape? Again, because we're not possibly, but we still know that the issue is here, right? It's still not colliding with the barrels. Let's put in some information here. So let's do static, not that. Ugh. Position. Oh wait a minute, we're not. Ugh, I've seen part of the problem. Const auto transform shape equals transform shape. We can't rely on the bounding box because that doesn't have the position in it. Or do we not update those? Like we could look. What I'm saying is we construct a new transform shape each time we do this. What the hell is shapes? Oh, it gets the indexes of those shapes. Interesting. Interesting. Why do we calculate this each time rather than updating it? Oh, that's a thinker. Can I? Because like, why bother having a? Why do I have a? Why have I got this if it's ultimately useless? Yeah, but I know it's a lightweight wrapper, but then why do I have a bounding box which is effectively static? No, I have no plans on making DRM. It sounds like that doesn't sound like a great use of my time. Why do I have that? Would I not be better off owning a shape pointer internally? Like where? Where do we use bounding box? Mm-hmm. Oh no, we update it. We do update it. Oh, I'm very confused. So why do I create another one? So many questions. Static entity, which is not a static entity at the moment. I know it's poorly named. Bounding box. So this is a great question, is why do we not just hand it all over to Jolt to do, which we did originally? Because I need quite... My original thought was that I'm not actually simulating physics, as in, like, I'm not integrating the laws of motion in any of this, right? There is no impulses, there's no kind of like real sense of forces or linear velocity. So I'm not... all I really want to do is move things around as the player does without impulses, so in like real world translations, and then check if things intersect and then react to them. So I took the view that rather than making, I guess, every barrel then effectively a kinematic controller, it would be quote unquote easier to just use Jolt purely as a collision, as a geometry intersects checker, as you state. So that was my thoughts. I'm not a game dev. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but that was my thinking. That I don't want to be... I want the movement of the barrels to be very precise. So I don't want to be pushing and pulling them around with forces. They need to be tied to the player. The player is not going to be pushing around with forces. That's going to be tied directly to the key presses. So my thinking was something, just check for collisions and then resolve them manually. So the bounding box... so I can get the transform for this. Let's see what that does. Can I not print out a transform? It seems like an oversight. Oh, I can't. All right, let's just add. Just going to add that super quick. That's easy one to do. Expert, I think. Auto to string const string turn format. It could actually be. Actually, no, I think I would prefer it as a free function. Inline auto to string const transform third string return std format transform dot position transform dot scale transform dot rotation. Okay. Hope that'll now work. Oh, steady. I need to start like keepsake again there. That game is desperate to run. Yeah, I mean, I'm fully prepared to make mistakes on this and have to repatch stuff as we go along. I'm not a game dev. I have no industry experience in this. I'm just kind of going what I think is right. If I agree, there are probably more complexities to it than I am thinking about, but we'll see what happens. I don't, by and large, I just try and make things. So as to the other question, I just try and make things context pro when I can, like say making things const. Okay, so let's quit out of this. It will crash. We just don't worry about that. Okay, so that could definitely do with some better formatting in it, but yeah, also like Jolt kind of handily turns like the meshes into collision shapes and has like capsule shapes and all the maths for it. So I still think Jolt was the right decision, even if we don't fully use its like power. Okay, let me just go back to transform there because this is pos scale rot. Let's run that again. The more you can make context, bro, like the happier your compiler will be. Context is all about giving the compiler opportunities to do things at compile time, even if you don't think it can. I think you'd be quite surprised what it does end up doing. Indeed, I do. Being an adult is rubbish. Oh, apparently I'm live. That's exciting. No, train return types basically should have absolutely no effect on compile times. Okay, so this is that's the moving barrel. I'm not quite sure why it loops through. It seems to be looping through a lot more entities than I expected. Is because it's in a header file and that transform.header is used everywhere. So what you do? Move to modules, I guess. The position of the barrel is definitely the same as the position of the bounding box. So the bounding box does move. So in fact, let's run it and move ourselves around a bit and see. It seems to be looking through more entities than I was expecting. Oh, I know exactly why that is. Some of the meshes don't have everything has a bounding box, but all the ones at the top there don't have physics colliders on them because I'm never going to hit my head on the ceiling. So it's considering those like barrels, so that's fine. Okay, so if we move this geezer around, so close to here. This is the same. Yeah, I do have a little bit of template horror going on, not too much. What is... Anyway. Okay, so I've reasonably convinced myself I actually have no idea what's going on. So in addition to that, let's also log the player transform shape dot transform. And let's convince ourselves that is being updated correctly. Yeah, the preprocessor does take a surprising amount of time. Like, it's a lot of I/O and like mass just going wrong, and basically pads out your translation unit. I think Hello World is like 7 lines, but if you expand I/O stream, it suddenly becomes like, I think it's like 100,000 lines or something. Thanks. Yeah, it's getting there. So I seem to have... Am I... Let me just... I think my coordinates are off. Yeah, it's... Am I really high up? Like, I am on this barrel, right? Like, I'm literally on this barrel. So somewhere, X... I suspect that this is the first barrel, and then this is the second barrel, then all this is geometry because of the order that's added in. Okay, so this is X, Y, Z 0. I am X, Y 10? Where does the player get its position from? Comes from the camera position. Okay, okay, okay. So let's go back to steady. Routine. Yeah, maybe it's just, but like it looks like the debug line was clipping through the thing. That's not what I expected at all. Oh, that sets it based on my position. It was easy. It was easy and fun to integrate. I can't really ask for much more than that. Okay, let's... Why are both barrels at different heights? And why did I not move down? Right? The first is the position. So when I go... Also, something else doesn't make sense either, because... I'm at 0, 0, but this thinks it's... Like, why is this having no effect? Do I instantly move the player? Do I, like, teleport them Lua level, like, when the game starts? Yeah, I've got ImGUI embedded in here. It's ImGUI in here somewhere. What's player restart? Set position back to start position. Okay. Start position is the original camera position when it was constructed, but that's... I feel lost. There's something not quite right about this. What if I just change this to 0, 0? Okay, does this have any effect? Because I'm trying to remember how all this is wired up. Somewhere something is not right. Is it because we introduced another camera for the menu and is it getting confused? I know you can post when the camera changes, so each state can have its own camera. Oh. Barrel's gone. Ooh. Made me jump. That's the second time in this series the barrel's made me jump. So the barrel seems very much dependent on the camera position, but I am always here. And this is definitely moving with me. So this will now... I tell you why. I bet there's no... And I'll tell you for why. I suspect it looks like the debug lines are going through the barrel because something no depth buffer on the lines, maybe? Or if they've just been painted over. I'm doing okay. Because if this barrel is where I am and it's not intersecting with the bottom one and our box shapes are roughly similar, then I'm definitely above it. So I think the question is like, right, gonna take a step back. We got to figure out why I can't change my position. Okay, so we create the camera. The second line. That's the something, isn't it? That's the look at. That's gonna make no difference. Unless you're just saying change it to see if it makes a difference. I still feel we're up too high though. No, somewhere something is changing us. No, we make the level routine makes the camera, okay, and passes that into the player. So the player owns the camera, okay. So player receive camera, player save camera. Saves off the start position. Ah, here we go. What's this? Uh-huh. And then it resets it to the controller position, which starts at the origin. Okay, fine. I'm happy with that. So let's just... As in, I'm happy I understand it now. Just doing C++ things. And music. I am ensconced in the barrel. Where's the... I've lost the other barrel. But this is what the world looks like from the point of view of the barrel, by the way. So I'm now definitely in the barrel. You can't argue with me about that. Right. Okay. So I was too high up. Indeed. Well, it sounds like you learned a lot and had fun, which I guess is the most important thing. Okay. So what have we learned other than I don't know what I'm doing? I don't think I think this is fine. We can be this high up. I just don't think if we are at least 10 off the ground, I reckon this has got to be like, I don't know, 10. What is this as well? Why do I times this? What is this half standing height plus height? What the hell? What the freaky frack is that all about? Position. Oh, that's just the y coordinate. Oh, okay. Yeah, but why do I set the y coordinate of the physics system's understanding of... Don't I want this to be the origin? But like, what? Specify what? Like, what is this specifying? It's not an area, is it? Do you see what I mean? Like, this is like, because I've got a identity quad. Oh, unless is it scale? It's only got two. It's only got two constructors, and they're both in position. Like, someone sanity check me. Like, why have I done this? What am I trying to represent here? I'm wondering if the capsule's shape is too high. Although it does render it. Yeah, I think let's wind this back now. Let's go back to capsule shape, right? And I think I might have just gone on a mad one with that. Let's bring that there. I don't think it's anything to do with the mass, because this is just a collision shape. This is not a rigid body. So now that we've lowered that, let me go back to lower level and rinse some of this. I don't know where the other barrel's gone. That's just into the ether. Not even with an implicit cast? Not even with an implicit cast? I think. Implicit cast? Okay. Yava Dev, welcome back. Apologies for last time. Also, apologies for not figuring out how to unban you. You were done dirty by Nightbot, and I do apologize. Okay, barrel's back. This is back. I've got my collision shape here, which is in much lower down, but I'm still... I feel like I've regressed. When I was a box, it was fine. I think there's a refactor here as well. I think we can sack off a lot of pulling out these shapes as well, but I want one thing at a time. Yes, you're right. It does. Yes. I don't know why I need to add the radius though. I feel like that was a bug. I feel that should have been that. Plus the cylinder. Yes, you're right. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, and let's just embiggen this a little bit anyway, because I feel like it's still not doing what I want to do. Okay, I understand that now. Thank you. I remember writing that now. Yes. I feel like 2 steps forward. No, 1 step forward, 2 step back at the moment. Okay, so I'm in my cap swell again, but it's definitely not colliding with this. So why is that? So when box work, when not box not work. Are we happy with that statement? Is the box only around the cylinder portion of the capsule? Possible? No, just purely gaming C++. No plan on building an engine. I just trying to get a game working to start with before I think I make anything reusable, because it's definitely not usable in its current state. Okay, I've lost the box. I think I can. The green's kind of hard to tell, but I'm definitely in a box, right? Why is it not working? We had. Why is this not working? Didn't we just see it work? Am I going mad? Did we not? We saw. Am I going mad? Like, yes, this game does indeed have 0 features. I would agree with you. Someone tell me I'm not mad. Like we all celebrated, we all high fived. Like the log was there. We were like, right, quick refactor, bish bash bosh, and be done. There will be more shorts when I have the effort to do some more. Unfortunately, I've fallen a bit behind. They don't take too long. It's just a little bit tedious. I'm really struggling to visualize this, but I think it is slightly embedded in the floor. Let's just like. Not messing around. It is Frustrum 2.0, and it is frustrating. Okay, so that is colliding, okay. I think it might always be colliding because that's always in it. So it's just a scaling issue then. It's a skill issue, but let's... Not living my best life today. What am I colliding with? See, this is what's confusing me. It's constantly saying I'm colliding with something, but I don't know what. I think what we need to do is... let's go back to Lua level. Let's go... Let's strip everything down. And then... let's only add 1 barrel. Let's see if this works for us. Yeah, my why is 71? Why does it think line 71? I just want 1 barrel. 1 barrel that doesn't move, and we'll take it right back to first principle because there's just too much going on. I don't think we get the... Yes, we might have to get the collision information out. I need to see if we get that. I think Jolt does give it to us. If you didn't see the message, then it's probably either the string itself is obfuscated or the binary is packed. So you'll need to figure out how to unpack it. Okay, let's have a think about this. I mean, if it's this one, sorry, quick divergence. Apparently, it's just a simple disk check, so not like a off the shelf DRM. So you might be alright. You might just need to figure out how to unpack it, or see if the string is. The best thing to do is just put a breakpoint on message box A, and then trace through what's calling it. Yeah, no worries. This is pretty from scratch. The renderer is from scratch. The windowing is from scratch. The event handling is from scratch. The message bus and all the wiring is from scratch. It uses Lua, but all the bindings are from scratch. All the logging is from scratch. The coroutine based job scheduler is from scratch. The only thing I've kind of picked off the shelf is Jolt Physics Engine and a few file parsers. Yeah, of course. Yeah, do try both. Right. Okay. So let's move this over even more so I can see the logs better. And then let's go to transform shape, super P. Okay. S collide shape versus shape. What's that one? Is at home. Jolt. So I've got S collide shape versus shape. Returns a void. I've got a horrible feeling this doesn't really give you a lot. It just collides two shapes. No. Not getting a lot. No, I'm not getting a lot of that. It's a thinker, this one. We'll get there. We'll puzzle it out. It's all possible. So this is colliding right now because it's like flickering. If I move over here, what is it? It's kind of see. It's still. I still think it's colliding here. I'm really concerned I've got a scaling issue somewhere. Yeah, okay, let's do that. Okay, so every time we get it, we'll get a new number. So let's see how we get with that. I'm just using the standard C Lua library, and then we just wrote our own abstraction around it. Here's something I didn't consider. Okay, so that's stopped. And there it's doing it again. There it stopped. I do need to make my that's how real programmers manage their windows. The make file. Okay, so not colliding. Colliding. Not colliding. Colliding. There's a scale issue. Something is scaled incorrectly. So I think if we can fix this, then everything else will break later. The problem I have, one of the many problems I have, is there's lots of magical scale numbers just sort of sprinkled around. Thanks, Harand. I'm glad you're back. We are facing quite the pickle. Gherkin, I should say. Like, I think it just annoys me that it's obviously rendered in like the graphics OpenGL space, so that looks fine. Okay, allow me to elucidate? Explanate? Allow me to explain. We have ourselves here a green box for a bounding box, and we have here, I've lost it, where's the bugger? Here it is, a barrel, okay? We're currently intersecting, as you can see, and the intersection count is going up, so we're just counting every time we intersect. If I step outside to here, we stop. That is a bit further away from the barrel than I was expecting, because if I just nudge myself forward a bit, we start intersecting. Ooh, 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 ooh. I assume it's the same on all sides. I feel that's closer, or am I going mad? I think it just looks like the green line intersects because we're inside of it. Yeah, I think it's coordinate space shenanigans. I just had a thought. Yes, I suspect this is the issue. I'm just trying to work out how to kind of trace that through. I want the box to render where it is, but I want myself to be further back, if that makes sense, so I can see the box. So the scale here is 1. This is for the... I think we need to use a bit better terms here. Character control, thank you. I don't give it a scale here. That's annoying because the player and the character are both quite entwined. I really want to step myself back and render it separately, but I can't think the best way to do that without possibly introducing other bugs that it's going to ask us to have to deal with it. Is there a way of doing it? Because that's just the world matrix. Right. This might be grim and this might not work, but I'm wondering if I can just... I want to see if this gives me a little bit more flexibility. Obviously, it's not going to be perfect, but... I suppose the box is massive. Let me just try and... I'm not sure if this is... actually, I probably want on the positive z-axis, right? Because all the maths and everything and all the physics and everything should be exactly the same. It's just literally at the point I go to render it, I just shift the whole camera view. That's my thinking. Okay, no, don't know what I'm talking about. Fine, whatever. The only other thing is I could move the... I'll tell you what, actually, this might work better. Character controller... Where does this transform come from when I draw the debug shape? Like, what's setting that? That's coming from the character get center of mass, which comes from the set linear velocity. So I do actually use velocity, despite me saying I'm only going to set the positions. I do set a linear velocity on the player. I wonder as well if these are wrong, and this is why, because it has an on contact added, right? So it should tell me when something collides and give me more information about it. I wonder if we've got the layer filter wrong. I suppose I'm getting to that point now where I've been saying this long enough. I'm just sort of trying random things and I'm struggling to stay focused on one thing at once. But I'm just going to have a super quick detour before we go back to fixing the previous problem. Otherwise, we'll never get there. Like we do have a thread to pull on. Yeah, no, you see that should interact with other dynamic rigid bodies. Oh, but they've not been added. I don't think they've been added to the physics system. Quick side quest. I just construct the shape. I never do anything with it. That feels wrong. When we create a rigid body, what do? We get the body interface, and then we pass that into our rigid body. Where we set up all this stuff. So I wonder if they do need rigid bodies on them. That's why as well. I wonder if... No, never mind. Turn it back. World space should be on the CPU and it's all handwritten. Yes, that's probably the issue. I'm just wondering if I just give it a rigid body. Oh, then it will try and integrate it. So I think, right. I'll take a step back because I'm allowing myself to fall down too many rabbit holes here. There's basically, I think there's two solutions to this problem. One is we just figure out the scaling issue that we've got now and work out why they aren't, because they do intersect, right? We can use Jolt to do intersection of two arbitrary shapes in what should be world space, and that doesn't work because there's a scaling issue. So one, we fix that. Two, we look at going back to using rigid bodies and getting the proper collision detection to do that. I think that is not the right answer now. I think the right answer now is to figure out why the scaling issue. So don't let me get distracted. So what were we looking at? We want to look at where all the... Oh, I really want to have a third-person camera. I cannot think how to do that. My brain is not allowing me to figure out how to what runes I need to do in the sand. Yeah, but like, what do I do with it? I think I feel like I need to offset the player. Right, okay. Actually, I think this is easier than this just applies a velocity to it on the update. So I think what I need to do is just set the... If I just create the object some point in the origin further into the screen, then it'll be naturally offset to it. Apologies, my brain is dead. I've been up in town all day today, so... I think that's what I want. I think as well, let's at least shrink it down, because like 20 is outrageous. Let's make that 1. And then let's make that 50. Oh no, that's the offset of the box. What I want probably is the position of the initial position of the character controller, which is in position. Here we go. Right, let's try that. It's true. The train was like a few minutes late. Not enough that I can claim any compensation, but I feel like it's just moved me with it. Why am I struggling to? Indeed, yes. Yes, you're right. But it's never... Yeah, the green thing is the player collider. But hang on, I know I reset my position, but surely the character control position is never reset. I set the initial position to be 20 things into the screen, right? And then there's no method here through which that can... The only way that can change is through setting the linear velocity. Nothing else changes it. Right? Also, what's this 111? Random 111 here. Is that the scale? Yeah, so watch out for that. Which scale? But does that make sense? Like why I'm confused why this doesn't work, right? Like I would assume. Oh, wait a minute. No, that's the center of mass transform. I keep saying this every time. Collider itself. Yeah, okay, maybe we just need to go through them all. I'm still curious why this doesn't work. Like, if I make this... Oh, because I set the player to the character controller position. Yes. Yes, I see what you mean. That's fine. It's the same thing as I used to raise the... The answer was there all along. It's hard to say, like, whether the ID would be faster or slower. I find like I consider myself reasonably efficient working my way through Vim and Tmux to get to the bits I want. That doesn't mean there is not more information I could have, or I couldn't make my setup more IDE-like, but it kind of works for me. Okay. Right. Okay. Now we're offset. See, that's even weirder now. Now I feel like I feel like the transform shape is on me, the player position. Because look, it's still roughly the same offset, even though... Why is that? Why is that? Oh, I think I know why. Let's do controller dot position. All right, let's just keep everything in the character controller, okay? So in theory, it's totally irrelevant where the camera is. Everything is done purely on... At least this should keep everything in relatively consistent to each other, and then we can start looking at the scales. Yeah, okay, I get it. I'm there. Okay. I feel that's slightly easier for me to see. I might pull myself back a little bit further, but I've got Clang D running, right? So I do get errors as I type them. It sounds glib, but like if you want to learn to not write a character controller, and you're probably already there. Then see, that's weird as well. Let me just let's get a more top-down view of these shenanigans. John, no worries. Glad you enjoyed them. There's something fundamentally not right about any of this. Is it? I didn't change anything. Has my in the philosophical as well as the geometrical sense, has my worldview been warped? If that's the case, then the entire stream has been a waste. No, barrel static. Green box move with me, red barrel not move. So why was it not colliding with the static geometry? Yeah, no, glad. The whole goal of me doing YouTube really is to inspire people to show people some of the interesting things you can do with computers at low level and inspire people to give it a go. So the fact that you've done that is kind of like exactly why I'm doing it. So I'm glad. Use whatever tools you need. Like throw the oracle at it until it gives you the right answer, but you'll learn something. Right, okay. I am deeply grumpy. So wait. So hang on. Yeah, okay. So can I Yeah, I know. I got oh mother. Well, I guess we're doing a third-person game now. I've got VS Code as a debugger when I need it. This is kind of hard to do with a debugger because I kind of need to see the program continuously running and see the effects of the various inputs. But yeah, when there's like a crash and stuff, I'll whip out the debugger straight away. I am so unbelievably grumpy. I'm really hoping that's the case. I'm hoping this has not been just a colossal waste of my time, of our time. Well, hopefully we've all enjoyed it, so it's not a waste of time if entertainment was had. I feel like I've not lived my best life today. Yeah, okay, let's bring back the level. I'm just going to slap it in. Just going to slap it in, hope for the best. I also want to make sure that I think I want to take the floor out as well, because there's no need for me to be colliding with the floor. No, let's just leave, well remembered, but let's just leave the one barrel in there for the moment. AC, I don't even know how to describe it. It's been a roller coaster of emotion. It's a different camera. It's the same camera. It's a different perspective. It may have worked the whole time, and I've just wasted 2 hours of my life. I just deeply upset about it. Well, I guess I'm in the. I guess I'm up on the roof. Oh, it did just say player cards were world though. So that's here we go. So that's not this. Not. Oh, I bet it was the barrel. But with what? Not certainly not in this. I need to be closer to the ground. Let's do 50. It is indeed unfortunate. Oh, that beer in the fridge is calling though. Okay. What the heck did we collide with then? Oh. It's getting there. We are definitely closer than I will concede we are closer than we were at the start. think this might be a problem for next stream. Oh, so I'm worried I'm going to get carried away. And right, I'm going to comment up the changes we've made. So let's sort of make so add to string for indeed. So let's just commit this as fake third person camera. So sort of, general mess around with physics testing. Move window, so log show. Not my greatest set of commits. I also will not be doing a build. No, everything is single threaded. There is but one true thread to rule them all, because my brain cannot cope with multi-threading for the scale of this project. Next project, don't know, but no, there's only a single thread for this, unless Jolt internally spins up threads, in which case I trust Jolt to present itself effectively as a single threaded interface, and it can do whatever the hell it wants under the hood. Yeah, do I have any gifts to I can switch to a members only live stream on YouTube, so I guess that means I just boot everyone else out, which seems incredibly rude. I have no membership left to gift, I'm afraid. Indeed. Nice. Well, I mean, like, as we discussed, our coroutine based job scheduler would probably scale to multiple threads if you did sort of like a scatter gather approach to job decomposition and other words. So I think we could run a scheduler per thread and then just have a broker and then potentially job stealing, but like not for this. I can't even get a bloody capsule to collide with the wall. I just set everything as Windows critical thread. That's the way you do it, right? All my queues are thread safe. They are in this anyway, because I only have one thread. I think that's... Yes, possibly. I don't know. We're living in a single threaded world at the moment. Let's see. Is anyone doing anything C++ on Twitch? Because that's always fun. I wonder if there's the C++ guy who just leaves an empty chair and goes to argue with his family. Same category. Oh, before everyone disappears, that is not safe for work, and I will not be going there. No stream this Sunday. I am away for the weekend, so the next stream will be a week today, and I could probably do with a few extra days off on this to cogitate. But when back, physics, we shall continue. Is there no one doing C++ on Twitch? Outrageous. We are the last bastion of C++ on Twitch. Literally no one doing it. That is outrageous. I've hit bottom. Well, not today then. Okay. It's kick, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know. At the moment, some people are doing some non-game stuff C++ because it's just is on Twitch, isn't it? Just like software dev and game development, aren't they lumped together? Oh well, we're here. if people want to come join us, that's absolutely fine. But I will wrap this up now. Thank you everyone for coming and joining and keeping me company while I bashed my head against a problem and didn't solve it. It's been a great result for me. I hope you enjoyed it. We shall, in a week's time, I'll try and put out a message to remind people that it's cancelled this Sunday. But in a week, 7 days, set your calendars. 7 days minus 2 hours. We will fix this. We'll do it. But until then, I'll see you anon.